So what do you think of that?
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So now this coffee room, this kitchen,
Yeah.
is filled with the aroma of what freshly roasted beans.
Yeah.
So are they degassing
Yeah.
right now?
So I should bag them straight away and then degas. So to allow them to degas. I'm just going to make you an espresso of this.
So we're taking it freshly roasted, but you're saying ideally you'd let them degas for how long, Bart?
Probably about 7 to 9 days.
Oh, really?
Which means that this coffee. So we roast on Saturdays. I then roast it. Sorry, I roast on Saturdays. We ship on Monday. By the time in transit, it's another couple of days. That's probably about 5 days.
Yep.
From cup, it means by the time you open it, couple of days, they're ready to go. Which means the fulfillment process is like I've got it to a really nice spot.
So why, if I drink this coffee right now, how will it taste different from coffee that had been degassed?
So it will have notes of charcoal because of obviously the carbonization, because it's like burning toast basically.
Yep.
At the end, when you scrape that carbon off. Yeah. So probably and so again it just becomes a lot milder as a coffee. So at the moment this will be close. Sorry, it'll have a harshness to it, which some people like. But on the flip side, when you allow it to breathe, I suppose, like a good wine, it'll be a lot more prominent as a flavour. So I'll make you this as an espresso.
Great.
And then what I'll do is, while we're doing that, so I'm obviously finding it quite difficult to go into your mental health piece because you're not talking to me about it. And I'll cut this out. But why don't we embark on why do you find it difficult to talk about this stuff? And let's just talk about mental health. Like it takes, this is a hard subject for people to talk about. I know you work with some pretty cool organisations at a very large scale. What's your background again?
Years ago, I practiced as a lawyer.
Yep.
Doing mainly commercial property work.
Yep.
And a bit of commercial work. But I stopped doing that over 10 years ago.
Yep.
And I've just concentrated on helping organisations run as efficiently as they can.
Yep.
And the organisations I help have predominantly been organisations centred on various aspects of health and care.
Yeah. Obviously in the NDIS space?
In lots of spaces. So aged care, disability care, and care for people who are doing it real tough. Everything from domestic violence situations to homelessness situations.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pain out there.
Yeah, right. And the reason why I wanted to get you on the show was you obviously backed me on the big hike that I did, which was in a very hard time, being mid-COVID. I know how much you told me not to go. I went and did it because you knew that I'd go a bit mental after 14 days in quarantine. Was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Good advice ignored, Bart.
Very well. I quite enjoyed it. I was on a mission to be able to. I guess I was quite stuck in COVID in the house, and I just wanted to obviously share the pain for people out there that were doing it pretty tough.
Yep.
It wasn't an easy feat, I must admit. Obviously doing the 14-day quarantine in Tassie and then doing the hike. But I dedicated one of the legs to you because I know how hard you've done it. I know how much you give back to the community, and I wanted to dedicate, one of those legs to you. And if you remember, it was at the end for the natural hike, and then I did another. I think it was another 15k thereon. So I know, and the reason why I wanted you on is obviously just to say thanks for your support and being a good man, teaching me some cool stuff.
I appreciate it, Bart. But can I just say, by giving, I receive.
Yeah.
So I have, and in a lot of the situations, I've been working with organisations that were struggling and doing it tough, and probably not being as effective as they really wanted to be.
Yep.
So it's been great for me to be able to see those organisations transform, so they can impact and improve the lives of so many people.
Yeah.
Because there's thousands upon thousands of people who are seriously doing it outrageously tough.
And do you think that's a lot to do with COVID, or how does this? What?
No, look.
People have been doing it tough for a while.
People have been doing it tough forever, and there'd be a lot of people who are doing it tough, and you wouldn't know. But there'd be a lot of people who are doing it tough, and you can see it. I mean, people subject to domestic violence it's
always been around, right?
Yes, and it's outrageously terrible. And people, through no fault of their own, becoming homeless. That's really tough. And it's something that I've never gone through, and I don't appreciate it as much. I don't understand it as much as others. But I know there's pain there.
And so when it comes to, I suppose, obviously you're highly aware of situations that are happening. What is it that we're doing? I know, as you know, I obviously support Reach Out, which is a kids and parents mental health charity. It's an online resource for people to go on to be able to research certain topics in their own, in confidence to be able to understand what to do next. I mean, that's a beautiful resource. But I guess the question is, we're obviously clearly identifying that these scenarios and these issues are so prevalent. I mean, what are we doing about it as a state, as a government, this stuff isn't going away. And as you know, we went through a massive GFC. We probably went through COVID recently. These things, violence and these mental health issues aren't going away. And I think we're just going to get better at managing these situations. What's your sort of thoughts on that?
I think too many people don't think about these issues. I think too many people think it's someone else's problem and not theirs.
From a government perspective, or
the government's becoming more and more aware, and I'm not trying to quote any studies or be an expert on this, but my understanding is that besides the fact that when governments invest money in these areas, we've got a better community and we're better people for it. I think there's an economic benefit of making sure we get people looked after, we get people having happy and productive lives. And that sounds very easy. It's very easy to say that. A lot of work, a lot of money, but ultimately it makes us a better country. So
I've just dosed it so that I can get what's left in there.
I don't know. What does that mean?
So when you grind different beans, you want to get what's out of that grinder from what you've ground before.
Is that a grinder?
That's a grinder. This is another grinder.
How are they different?
This one I use. I quite like this one because this one works well for pour overs. It's a lot more precise.
Okay.
And this one also extremely precise, but I just use them differently. I'm keen to hear more about what you were saying. Governments.
Can I say, Australia's come a long, long way. I mean, years ago, and I'm talking about 100 years ago, it was everyone looking after themselves. And without any doubt...
Because our hospital medical system is pretty poor. Like with COVID, there's a reason why a lot of people have lost their lives because we couldn't handle the wheels fell off about,
Compared to the rest of the world, we're excellent. We're blessed to live in a country with a health system like ours, and we have been fortunate that geography and a lot of good management and a bit of luck has helped us avoid the worst of things.
Yep.
So our health system is...
Smell that?
Fantastic. Love it.
Can you smell the fruit though?
I really like it. It's nice and...
It's fruity, isn't it?
I don't know if I can smell the fruit, but it smells strong and deep. So maybe I don't know what I'm smelling.
This is a beautiful, beautiful bean. So we've come a long way as a country in the health system.
100 years ago, it was everyone for themselves, and it ended up with charities, and usually faith-based charities providing a lot of help for people.
Got it.
Now governments have come in, but there's always more to do, and there's different ways to do it, and there's different realisations of what is needed.
Excuse me.
I don't pretend it's not incredibly complex. But yeah, people need help, and there's things that we probably have been around for ages that just weren't as prominent as they are now. For example, domestic violence and homelessness.
Gotcha.
So it's always been there, but I think we're seeing a lot more of it, and we're learning to approach it and deal with it better.
So I am just doing the pour over. I'm just going to do that. Come over here and smell this. What does that smell like?
It smells like just fresh, strong coffee to me, Bart. I can't describe it more than that. I can't put words to what I'm probably smelling, but it smells great. It's a lot stronger than the others, which I like.
So where do you think we'll be in about 10, 20 years' time? Especially when this sort of, in this space?
I don't know the answer to that, Bart, and I'm fortunate. I'm really fortunate. I'm not in government. I don't have to work that out. At the moment, all I focus on is trying to make the organisations I'm with get better governance, which means they run more efficiently and help more people.
Yeah.
So I'm really fortunate. I don't have to make the big hard decisions, and I don't have to look into the future of healthcare or community care as a nation. I'm just looking after a little bit of the world that I'm in, and that little bit is just making organisations. But look, some of them haven't been managed well. I'm just with a group of other people. I'm not doing it all by myself. With a group of other people, just helping them to run better. And with all of them, quite seriously, we're looking after more people.
And do you think the reason why they, obviously, you are quite clever and you have a lot of life experience, and you've also dealt with business at a very, are these companies have just gone a little bit stale, or why the shake-up?
An introduction was incredibly kind, Bart. I think they have been, some of them just small community organisations,
right,
and not realising that they have to be run really well, and that governance, it sounds like ticking boxes, but governance is just running things well that makes them more efficient.
Gotcha.
And it's about reading, researching. I constantly do courses.
Because you've just done your...
I do courses on everything that I can find that can help. So I've done courses on strategy to work out how to change organisations.
Because what I'm hearing is you're upskilling for the times. Obviously, you come from a very well-rounded, you've done a lot of... You come from an academic background, you've done a lot of work in that space. You've done
My teachers wouldn't think I come from an academic background, but I think the opposite. But look, I have been blessed. I have, in where I grew up, my circumstances, I have had it lucky, and no doubt I am not an academic, and I could never be an academic, but I enjoy studying, and I find studying easy. So that's lucky for me. I know other people don't, but it lets me look. I think my skill is probably that I can take what I learn and apply it in a practical way. And that makes a difference in being practical about it. It's having knowledge, knowing that I don't know a heap, but wanting to learn, find out, applying it, and things happen.
Yeah, you're being quite modest. I know you've got some...
This is being recorded. Off the camera, I will cease to be modest. But it's... you've got to keep on learning as part of it.
And I think, point that I've just taken is that you've just got to stay at the top of your game, you have to continue to be current with current situations, current education, current communities change, people change, and I suppose we've just gone through a massive, change being the new normal with COVID.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a place for these businesses who have gone a little bit awry with new situations, and having people like you coming on and consulting to them is what a blessing.
I am very fortunate that I work with a number of other like-minded, smart people, and they've got skills that I don't have.
So
great.
You like that?
I do. They've got skills I don't have, and we complement each other. And where I've got failings, they've got strengths, and it works out well. Thank you.
Tell me what you think of that. So this is a fancy way of making. Like I would prefer you make that over a French press because you're a long black type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now taste it.
Why are we drinking out of a glass? Is that just
for being fancy?
Tastes great. I've enjoyed this one better than any others today.
Yeah.
By a long shot. And you're saying if it being degassed, it may be a little less charcoaly.
Correct.
Not that I can taste much charcoal, but it's.
That's a different long black, isn't it? This will like rock your world. This is a very strong bean.
I love it.
So I would prefer you. I'm going to give you the filter, so you can do this at home. It doesn't take much.
I think am I going to be too lazy to do that, Bart?
I think let's bring it back to staying present and grounded. I think, your morning ritual could be grounding some coffee, like where you're extremely present. I know how hard you work. I know how intense, sitting on a couple of boards must be. Part of why I brought, coffee to the surface is, making a good cup of coffee takes a bit of, being present. And so when you say, I'm a bit lazy, you're definitely not lazy. I think, brewing a good coffee could be a ritual that you endorse so that, it's a good start to the day.
Drinking a good coffee could be a good start to the day.
Do you like that? See what I mean?
I like that. I like that better than the others. Oh, this is really great.
So, can you taste? I mean, if we were to knock off the charcoal bit, can you taste how it's a lot more fruity?
I seriously can't taste much charcoal.
Back in the palate. The other one was a lot cleaner, well balanced. This is a lot more, it's pungent. It's got a lot more fruit. This one is the goji berry. So it comes from a region called Guji in Ethiopia. It's all natural. This is a specialty coffee. We're talking about that in a cup. Let's call it at probably about $12 a cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know if I can taste some of the things you described, but I know it. I like it.
It's a different.
Oh, it's a bit stronger and a bit more fulsome.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
So you could probably dilute that further with water if you think it's too pungent, and it will get better with as it cools down.
I don't think I wouldn't dilute it. I like it.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
So that was. Let me just explain what I did there. So that was 7 on the DK, which is a coarse ground. Yep. I put 20 grams in, and then I let it go at 3 minutes. So it was 3.9 minutes. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I got it to 4.2 minutes, I think it was.
Is that 4 minutes and 20 seconds or 4.2?
4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay.
And I did a ratio of 1 to 4, which was 3 pours at about 70 grams each.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tipped it out at about 280 grams out. So if you wanted to dilute it further, you just increase the water and decrease the grams that you put in. At a 7. I reckon I would take that to maybe 7.5 to give it more coarser grind, and then I think it'll balance out. But for your taste, I reckon you quite like it being really pungent and fruit forward.
I do.
So, with that said, let me make you an espresso of this.
Okay.
I'll make you a double shot espresso, and it will blow your socks off.
I'll tell my socks to be ready.
While we do that, how do you want to round out what we were talking about earlier? What's the where are we headed, I suppose, when it comes to the mental health space and like big government and big business?
I just know that there's so much need out there, and I don't think everyone realises some people are struggling. I think earlier today you talked about...
We're a pretty wealthy country, right?
We're an exceptionally wealthy country.
Which means, call it the low socio-economic, they're struggling, like every day.
You mean people in our country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more mental health is a lot more prevalent there. Versus, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, we in, affluent regions of the country don't notice how bad it is or how poor these people are being treated.
I think you'll find that mental health problems go beyond economics, and there'll be people who may be affluent or well-to-do or having good lives, still subject to mental health issues. It's everywhere, and it probably just isn't as obvious.
Right.
So I see it everywhere, and I think if you are more affluent, maybe you've got a better chance of getting the help you need and to deal with it. And that's what people need. People need some good plans to work out how they can deal with issues.
Gotcha. That's it. I'm gonna have to dial this in. I haven't made this particular bean for espresso. It's generally a pour over, but I'd like to dial this in, and I'll have to play. We'll go a couple of rounds.
When you say dial it in, what do you mean by that?
Getting the grind perfect for an extraction. So we'll just play around with it, but keep going.
Yeah, look, and there's different forms of help for people with mental health issues. It's and it's without any doubt still seen as a failing, and it's still taboo, and it's still not understood. Again, mental health is like physical health. If you break your leg, you go and get it treated. With mental health, people are reluctant to do so, feeling that it will impact their jobs, the way they're perceived by others. It's tough, and I haven't got any answers or solutions, but I just know it's
there. It's happening, and good point. I mean, I'm sure by addressing it, we're halfway there.
I don't know about halfway, but by speaking about it, it's a step. It's a step in the journey, a step that's got to be taken. It's about having...
See how that's come out really quickly? So that's not where I want it to be. So I'm going to bring it down another half.
To make it finer or coarser?
Coarser. Finer.
Okay.
Okay, smell that.
Will that be stronger or not?
It's not about strength, it's about the flavour in the cup.
Okay.
I'll just put that away, otherwise you won't sleep tonight. So, yeah, keep going.
It's about having people you can speak to, networks. It's about, I love the "Are you okay today?" Are you okay? Because people asking, but it's more than asking, it's helping and asking once and twice and three times.
Yeah.
And it's about doing things to connect with community. I've started to do a little bit of reading on what makes people live good, happy lives when they get older, and part of it is about having a great social connection and social network.
Yeah.
So it's being about not lonely, it's about being involved with people. And when I mean involved with real people. You've probably heard me how I'm not a great fan of social media because that's not real communication.
True.
I think social media is a I don't think it helps lives at all. I think it takes away from lives. So, yes, I am definitely 100% against forms of social media because they don't add to life.
And so, I mean, let's just unpack that. One of the things is with COVID, you can't go and interact with people.
You can pick up a telephone and speak to people.
We've got video calling.
You got Zoom.
You have Zoom.
But jumping on Facebook, which is full of messages of hate, and looking at Twitter, which is full of messages of hate, I don't think adds anything to anyone's life.
No. Okay, I've just gone half a degree, and I think I think we're there.
That looks darker to me.
Yeah. Now it's coming up where I want it to be. I think it could go down maybe. I think we're good. I think this was going to do the trick. Obviously the coffee, look at that. The coffee will, as it degasses, it'll become a lot more a really good place. But yeah, taste that. So give me that, go over there. It's a huge difference to what we had before. Can you now tell the fruit forward? The acidity higher.
I can taste more acidity without any doubt.
Yeah.
Still struggling on that fruit bit, but not doubting it, but I just...
Yeah. That is a beautiful cup. And obviously you can dilute it by making that as a long black. But I can guarantee you, you're going to be on another planet in about... But you like your coffee strong, so...
I like it strong. That's really strong.
Yeah, you can tell.
That's great. I couldn't drink two of these in a row.
But you like that? And I'll pan it well for you?
Yes, it's great.
Yeah, cool. I think you prefer that over a chocolatey type of cup?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being educated today, Bart, so I think that's the case, but I like it a lot.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much for coming on. I've had a great time hanging out, unpacking what you're doing, and yeah, again, wanted to thank you for your support on the hike, and I know that you're always paying it forward, so yeah, thank you, Mr. Weil. Let's start again. Thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Weil. Let me just clean this up. I think, you've added... the reason why I had you on this show was because you support a lot of people, and I know that you've gone through some rough times in the past, and the reason why I wanted you on is because I did a big hike and I wanted to dedicate the last kind of 12K. Because I know you give a lot back. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure. Good coffee.
All right. What else you got?
Got nothing.
Got nothing. You want to end it? You've had enough?
Oh no, I'm good. I could do this for a day.
Could you?
No.
Wanted just to obviously send you away with some red Barty, which we roasted today.
That's very kind. That's great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. It's a real pleasure to have you on. And if there's anything you need from the Barty Coffee Company, you let me know.
Will do.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Bart.
I think maybe I may have got it on here. Oh, that's been rolling as well.
How long does that record for?
Yeah, that didn't record for long either. I'm disappointed up. All good.
Always a learning experience.
We'll see what we can salvage. You can grab some more of the.
Thanks, Bart.
It's been a real pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clink. Is there anything else to add?
No.
No? Good. Done.
We didn't get any jokes in. You got a joke in.
I got one joke in. I wonder if I should make myself one.
Ooh.
It's good, isn't it?
My favourite all day was out of the glass.
Gotcha.
As I tasted a bit more, I think I would need a tiny bit more water.
In there.
A tiny bit.
So, okay, so I reckon, so that's 2.5. So let's talk about the dialing process. If I were to reduce that or increase the coarseness and reduce the amount of grams in there, I reckon I could get it to a perfect profile for you. But I'd probably need to probably get another 2 or 3 in. But my point is, there's no point of doing it now. You need it to degas for it to get to. That will taste differently in 9 days' time.
How do you know what I'm tasting and feeling today? What about in a week's time? Would my taste buds be exactly the same and everything be the same, or will I be saying, "Oh no, today I want something a little bit different, a bit lighter or a bit stronger"? Look, I wouldn't want stronger than that. That's strong.
Yeah. Taste buds aren't going to change. In terms of dialing in a coffee or that particular profile, that can change. The degas will change, meaning it'll be a lot more softer and the carbonisation will fall off, which means it'll be a full rounded cup.
I'm just.
Am I making stuff up?
No. I'm just wondering though whether my taste buds can't match. Your taste buds are tasting everything up here, and mine are a step below and only tasting stuff down here.
So what I will do, what's also really what's really cool is what you're supposed to do is drink soda water after any. It's an Italian thing to cleanse your palate after something like that.
Yep.
So I quite like obviously having some soda water, and that's taking that coffee to another level as well.
Without any doubt.
How cool was that?
Good. You keep on saying about tasting the fruit. I seriously can't.
Really?
I can't get there. I can't taste the fruit. It's like I like it, and I know what I like best.
Yeah, I'm going to bag this while you're here.
Bag it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We get.
So we can send you home with some greens, some red Barty.
Nice. And you're saying a week from now, right to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some minis in for you. I'm going to give you some minis to take home to your hotel. So that you can just put some hot water on them. Just minis.
So, but I think I don't have the patience to.
They're the minis.
No, but I don't have the patience to go through a grinding process.
We'll grind it for you.
Will you grind it to a French press? Nice.
No, so this will go in the French press.
Perfect.
But the minis I'll grind for you so you can just tap into that little disposable. And then you can use them as you go. So this is part of it degassing, right? As soon as I do that, it now seals the bean in the bag and it will degas.
But you can grind it first.
I will do.
Yeah.
But I need it to degas first.
Oh, okay.
So that is the red Barty.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know. That's why I thought. You know.
I do like your green too. It's just,
It's not as strong as this.
The black seemed a bit wimpy.
Really?
It did. It just didn't get me.
Yep. I'll cut that out. Yeah, well, your audio's still on. Let's get these going. Oh yeah, classic. I need it back on though. That's 20. Do you want to put that mic back on? for me. There's here. The one on the right. Oh, gee, well, won't it? I'll go out here to put the mic back on if possible. And then I'm just going to finish up with this red Barty. Got it back on? Sweet. So I'll put about 20 grams of coffee in there. Yeah. I'm just going to finish up.
Have you sucked the air out of that, or you don't need to?
Don't need to. And then I will. Let them dry. All handmade. Get them to dry. And that one's for you.
That's wonderful. That's very kind. You don't write on this one?
I will write on it. I'm going to give you a bag to take home. This one will be there. I have. Yeah, I think that's what I was going to give you to take home for your subscription this week.
Great.
And a couple of the minis to take home.
Perfect. I'll give them a go.
And yeah, I want to obviously hear how it goes. So that is. Let me just put the date on, which is. What day is it?
8th. Is today the 8th?
8th.
I'm not sure though.
So look. Yeah, the 8th. So let's go the 8th of May. There we go. And this will be. I truly think we can go get you a V60 to try out if you don't like it, because I've given you an AeroPress. That's a lot going, but I think because you're a long black type of guy, I think French press is ruined on you because it's a bit diluted. By actually doing it through a V60, I think it'll get you to a place of increasing your palate.
We've got to overcome my desire just to make it quickly and clean it up quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
But look, coffee was delicious.
Wimpy
Yes.
versus the red on red red Barty, which is Gucci. It's a beautiful. I've basically bought 160 kilos of this. Wow. Because you can't get it anymore. So this is a limited edition, and you can obviously buy it on our store.
So it tastes great.
Yeah, I quite like it. Alright, I think we're done. Thank you again, Mr. Weil.
Thanks, Barty.
It's been a pleasure. Done.
D Mike.
Yes, please.